got Slick Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS 6B. Slick does sports and dresses to the nines. Big D loves when he says it's rodeo time. Delgado might wear the tinfoil hat, but we all love, what even is that? Aaron and Fran always holding it down. We look forward to another crazy town. Kevin Downey Jr. fills another seat. His sharp wit and wisdom can't be beat. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Big D looking good in his cowboy hat, always intrigued where David Sears at. Our main man Harry is certainly no slouch. Come on Harry, get the hell off the couch. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Ooh yeah, LFS 6B. If you want some fun along with good insight, tune in 8 to 10 weeknights. Plenty of merchandise to be had. The odds makers reveal whose picks are bad. Hello, America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS 6B. It's time to stop. What you're doing, it's 8 o'clock. Friday night pizza show is on tap. LFS 6B is where it's at. Whoa, oh. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS 6B. Does sports and dresses to the nines. Big D loves when he says it's rodeo time. Delgado might wear the tinfoil hat, but we all love, what even is that? Aaron and Fran always holding it down. We look forward to another crazy town. Kevin Downey Jr. fills another seat. His sharp wit and wisdom can't be beat. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Big D looking good in his cowboy hat, always intrigued where David Sears at. Our main man Harry is certainly no slouch. Come on Harry, get the hell off the couch. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Ooh yeah, LFS 6B. If you want some fun along with good insight, tune in 8 to 10 weeknights. Plenty of merchandise to be had. The odds makers reveal whose picks are bad. Hello, America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, yeah, LFS 6B. Look alive, it's time to stop. What you're doing, it's 8 o'clock. Friday night pizza show is on tap. LFS 6B is where it's at. Whoa, oh. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick Delgado and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah. sports and dresses to the nines. Big D loves when he says it's rodeo time. Delgado might wear the tinfoil hat, but we all love what even is that. Aaron and Fran always holding it down. We look forward to another crazy town. Kevin Downey Jr. fills another seat. His sharp wit and wisdom can't be beat. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Big D looking good in his cowboy hat, always intrigued where David Sears at. Our main man Harry is certainly no slouch. Come on Harry, get the hell off the couch. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Ooh yeah, LFS 6B. If you want some fun along with good insight, tune in 8 to 10 weeknights. Plenty of merchandise to be had. The odds makers reveal whose picks are bad. Hello, America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Look alive, it's time to stop. What you're doing, it's 8 o'clock. Friday night pizza show is on tap. LFS 6B is where it's at. Whoa, oh. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Slick does sports and dresses to the nines. Big D loves when he says it's rodeo time. Delgado might wear the tinfoil hat, but we all love what even is that. Aaron and Fran always holding it down. We look forward to another crazy town. Kevin Downey Jr. fills another seat. His sharp wit and wisdom can't be beat. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B. Big D looking good in his cowboy hat, always intrigued where David Sears at. Our main man Harry is certainly no slouch. Come on Harry, get the hell off the couch. America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Ooh yeah, LFS 6B. If you want some fun along with good insight, tune in 8 to 10 weeknights. Plenty of merchandise to be had. The odds makers reveal whose picks are bad. Hello, America's voice is the place to be. Got Slick, Delgado, and of course Big D. The show to watch, LFS 6B. Yeah, LFS 6B.
All right. Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome on in. I see everybody coming on in. 15,890 on YouTube. Shooting for 16,000. If you haven't hit the follow on YouTube, make sure you hit the follow on YouTube or whatever they ask for. Good morning, everybody. Dale McCormick on Facebook. Good morning, Paula on Facebook. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on in, Sue. Aloha from Hawaii. Hello. Hello, beautiful people. A lot of names I recognize. I always like to see new names I don't recognize. Becky from Florida, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Clint on YouTube, Lisa on Facebook, Kathleen on X, good morning. Donna on Facebook. Doug, good morning. Hello, Sue on YouTube. Robin, Burke, Arthur, the marvelous Mrs. Moore. Love that name. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It's a Friday. Show's all yours today. I don't got much for you. Not much has happened. Links in the chat if you want to join me. Come on up. Come on down. Come on up on live 6B in the morning. The show is all yours. We can talk about who you think's going to get confirmed, who's not going to get confirmed. We'll play a little game of that. There's the link again in YouTube. Actually, let me post a link in all destinations. I've put it on all social media. If you want to join me today, come on. Tell me about what's going on where you are. We can talk about who's going to get confirmed, who you think's not going to get confirmed. We'll run down the list. Anything else on your mind? It's Friday. Too early for pizza, but it's... What is this thing I make every morning? This is Keurig, like, it's not coffee. It's like I don't know what it's considered, actually. It's coffee, but it's, I don't know. It's like a mix of something. It comes out almost like creamy. It's almost like not a latte, but it's, as you can tell, I have a really good handle on what the hell I make myself every morning. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's good. So Friday morning coffee, Friday night pizza tonight. Last night, we got thrown that curveball with that event at Mar-a-Lago. God, that was brutal. Just so we're clear in the chat, those are not, please, don't shoot the messenger. Those are not my decisions. That is straight network decision on what we're going to cover. If it was me, I'd just sit down for 2 hours and talk to you every night about what's going on. But it's not up to me, so. But man, that thing seemed like total disarray, huh? Even the introduction to the president, Sly didn't know whether he was supposed to introduce him or not, before he forgot to. Here's an idea for all those dinners. Maybe we should have everybody who's going to speak at the mic speak and go through their thing maybe before they're like 6 Balvinis into the night. I don't know. Just a thought. You know, you start serving alcohol at 5 and put them up on stage at 9. That's pretty much what you saw last night, it seemed like. Yeah, they had to go pull old Javier Milei. They had to pull. He'd still be up there speaking. He's got things to say, man. And the interpreter's got to interpret. He would have still been there. She just walked up there and said, thank you, Javier. Go dance the YMCA dance. We got to go. We got to keep it moving. He was funny. Yeah, he's doing what he's doing there, what Elon and want to try to do here, although it's going to be tougher for them to do it here. But Kerry Lake for White House press secretary, I would highly doubt that. But you never know. That's the beauty about all these picks. That's why I want to know what you guys think. You know, they could all get through. The question is, how much political capital do the Republicans in the Senate want to spend? How big a fight do they want to pick with a president that just gave them the popular vote, the Electoral College, both houses? You really want to pick this fight right now, right out of the gate? That's why I think John Thune, who I wouldn't trust farther than I could throw him, and that's not going to change. I don't care what he does. If we're going to get anything from him, your broadcast is repeating. I don't know what that means. Our broadcast is repeating. Help? Anybody? If Thune's going to do anything good, I would figure it would be now. Because does he really want to pick a fight out of the gate with the president? Does he really want to get into it in the weeds with him right out of the jump after the win? I don't know. I don't know. But to watch social media, they're so all over the place on the Gates thing. Is it real? Is it not? Is there something else at play? I mean, I just don't see the president elect at this point playing games with nominations. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't think there's any games going on here. I don't think there's I don't think he's trying to help Matt Gaetz out by I mean, Gaetz could have just left. If Gaetz thought this report Friday was going to be a problem, I mean, he didn't need to get nominated to leave. He could have just left if he really wanted to. I don't know. I don't know. All the consternation about what's really going on here. And the people talk like you can take it to the bank. I'm like, I wouldn't take any of these checks to the bank that I'm reading about and expect them to cash it at all. And there's no reason for Trump to be playing games with nominations. I think he's putting up the people that he wants. He may be thinking this will send good signals, scare the crap out of everybody. I think that's fine. It's probably part of the plan. But I don't think he's putting up. I don't think he's not going, hey, let's nominate Gaetz and watch them all freak out, and then we'll just pull it back because we know he can't get confirmed. I don't think he's not doing that. But in the same respect, I do find it hard to believe that they think that Gaetz is going to get a straight up and down vote. Unless they think that they're going to be able to wield a political hammer that none of us expect them to be able to do right now. Maybe with Elon. I did see Susan Collins this morning. This is the thing they have going to their advantage with Elon. You see Nancy Pelosi, 84 years old, she files to run again. Even Fetterman's like, isn't it time for you to just go away and give somebody younger a chance? But I saw Susan Collins again. Same thing. Says she's going to run again. Okay, that's good. Thank you for letting us know you were going to run again. Now understand this. If you're a no vote and you're a roadblock and you become a hassle on RFK, on Matt Gaetz, on Tulsi Gabbard, just understand, Elon can go talk to her and say, just understand that I'm going to fund your primary opponent with unlimited funds to make sure that this is the last we see of you. So I'm glad you want to run again. Understand that running again is going to be, you're going to play ball. You're going to play ball. And if you don't play ball, then understand that your opponent has unlimited funds. Unlimited funds to make sure that we never hear from you again. So maybe they can play that game with a couple of them who they know are going to run again, like Collins announced this morning. Yes, he's got more money than Soros. He's got 8 times the money Soros has. He's an 8-timer. I saw the figure, and it's probably more than that. And I think SpaceX is about to go public at around a $250 billion or so market cap. So you're going to add a whole lot more onto that if that happens. So maybe their plan is that Elon will wield the political hammer with some of these people? I don't know. You know, they love their power, they love their positions, they love their everything that comes along with these jobs. And for someone like Susan Collins and, you know, Murkowski, you got to play hardball. If you have an avenue to play hardball with, obviously Collins, now you do. She's announced. I don't know what Murkowski's deal is. I don't know what we can do about McConnell. Maybe that's where Thune can come in handy. Barrasso and all of the lamos who stood behind him. Mitch, go ahead. Whatever you say, Mitch. Those guys who did that for years. Maybe they can go to Mitch and who knows what. Get him to act like he's still alive. Just put Mitch and Biden out the dog track with two little pins on their lapels that say, I used to be Mitch McConnell. I used to be Joe Biden. And let them sit there and watch the horses run around. That's what they should do with both of them. So we'll see. We'll keep the news up here, see if we get any announcements this morning. I'm starting to wonder. It's Friday, so it could happen on a Friday. I'm starting to wonder if we're going to get an FBI director. Not that we're going to get one, but I'm wondering if we're going to get it now or if he's going to hold it. I should, let me pull this up. I saw this morning. I was watching, as I do most mornings. These guys, Mark Halperin's show. Okay, so okay, I want to show you a little bit of what Mark Halperin says today. All right, let me share this. Let me make this full screen like that. So here's what Mark Halperin said about what's going on down in Florida. I noticed Steve Bannon did his show this morning from the West Palm Beach office. I suspect there's a reason for that. I suspect as soon as he's done with that show in about 45 minutes, he's probably heading over, if I had a guess, to Mar-a-Lago. Here's Mark Halperin this morning, a little bit on what he hears is going on, and if you're on the left or in one of these major news networks, newsrooms, and you're all up in arms about Tulsi, and you may have some more surprises coming. Here's the way Mark Halperin put it this morning.
As I said, expect more personnel choices today. There are some things under consideration that would blow your mind. It would make Bobby Kennedy look like a nomination of Bruce Babbitt. I don't know if they'll happen or not, and I don't know if they'll happen while we're on, but stand by. They could happen. It is Game of Thrones down there. There's people talking about people for jobs. There's people walking in that all across Mar-a-Lago. And part of the chaos that we're seeing is derivative of how wide open it is. And part of it is because this is a group of very competitive individuals. Some might call them cutthroat. I'll just say they're strongly desiring to serve America. And in order to try to get the right jobs to do it, they're in there fighting for it. Pay attention, not just to the cabinet secretary positions, but to the deputy secretary positions. We saw that yesterday at the Justice Department. You're going to see some announcements of, wow, that's the cabinet secretary. And then, ooh, interesting, deputy. Watch those, please, on Capitol.
Okay, so there you go. There's what Mark Halperin said today. I see Laura in the waiting room. Let's bring Laura on. Laura, can you hear me?
Good morning. I can. Would rather not.
That's fine. We can hear you. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for jumping in here. What's on your mind?
Nothing. Just listening. Love to listen to you guys. We watch you at night and in the morning when you're on.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that. What do you think of Trump's nominees so far?
Love it. Love anybody that's going to battle the norm.
Do you have a favorite?
Jeez. Probably Gates, just because he's going to bust some chops.
So let's talk about Gates. Obviously, Gates is, I would think most people, Bobby Kennedy's getting a lot of pushback as well. Gates is probably the most pushed back on so far. Do you have any strange theories on Gates, or do you think President Trump just really thinks that he's the firebrand he wants over there? What's your feeling on why he put Gates up for that position?
I think it was to basically tell everyone we're not doing the same path that has been, and we need to change paths, and he's going to lead that charge.
Do you think he can get confirmed?
If they all want to keep their positions and they're working for the people that actually elected them, then yes, he will get confirmed.
Do you think he'll get confirmed on a straight up and down guy? He has to get at least 50 votes, and then JD Vance would obviously be the deciding factor, the tiebreaker. Do you think he can get 51, or do you think the president's going to have to pull some political presidential power and do a recess appointment? And further than that, do you think he would have to do that by putting both houses into recess himself, or do you think Mike Johnson and John Thune could agree and get their members to vote to go into recess for 10 days? Because the president himself putting both houses in recess, I'm not exactly sure, I think has never happened before, and it's never been challenged in the courts. Obviously, there have been recess appointments in history where both the House and the Senate have agreed to go into recess. What's the path do you see Gates getting approved?
Well, I'm hoping they do, like I said, work for the people and not themselves. No self-serving attitudes. I hope the president doesn't have to force his hand. But if he
so you think a straight up and down vote could happen?
I think so. I really hope that, well, maybe it's just being naive, but the people elected you. I think you really need to listen to the people and not just do what you think is best. And that's the way they should roll with it, or get out.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think that's what John Thune is at least walking that line right now and saying, hey, this guy won. He gave us the House. He gave us the Senate. He gave us the Electoral College. He gave us the popular vote. He has a mandate from the people. We have to be open to the people that he wants. So now the question will be, what happens as we start to get into these confirmations? Does John Thune keep that attitude, and will he hold the Democrats responsible if they do? We know they're going to do nothing but roadblock. I said this last night in the show. They are scheming right now in the cloak of darkness somewhere in a room on how they can kneecap Gates, Bobby Kennedy, Tulsi Gabbard, the Secretary of Defense nomination, Pete Hegseth. They are figuring out how they can kneecap all these people right now, point it back to Trump, and just cause as much chaos as possible. So Thune, I think at least right now, seems like he understands that. But we'll see.
It's going to be an interesting ride.
All right, Laura, anything else on your mind?
No, I'm good. Love listening to you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Well, thanks so much for jumping on this morning. I appreciate it.
Thanks. Have a good day.
You too. All right, there goes Laura. Anybody else wants to jump on? The link is in the chat, and I'm going to post it again right now. There it is. If you want to join on, talk about who's going to get confirmed, who's not going to get confirmed. So getting back to this clip that I just played from Mark Halperin, pretty interesting stuff. He said the appointment of RFK will look like child's play compared to some of the things that are being bantered around. Who do we think could be out there that you would qualify with that description? Steve Bannon for director of FBI? I mean, who could make heads explode that hasn't already been talked about? I mean, Kash Patel, I think at this point is not, of course it'll make their heads explode, but it's not going to be like I don't think that's not going to be like a Pete Hegseth. Like when you saw it, you went, wait, what? Who? And then you were like, yeah, hell yeah. I never saw that one coming, but I love it. I don't think Kash Patel is going to be that, because I think he's been so outspoken. Everybody over the years has said, "Oh man, Cash will be great there." I don't think that's going to be. So who could Mark Halpern be talking about? Steve Bannon is something. John says Peter Navarro. I mean, I think at some point you have to. I mean, Gates. They say, well, he's not really qualified. He's barely been a lawyer. I don't necessarily. I mean, I don't know his legal background, but that's certainly. I mean, I think at some point, if you put somebody up that has literally has spent no time in their whole life in the thing, I think then you start to look. You start to look not so serious. Ghosty on X says Cash is already selected. Cash is already selected, meaning what does that mean? There was an announcement this morning, or we're just taking that for grant? We're just FBI director or DOJ. Well, we know that okay, yeah. But he hasn't made anything official. So again, we know what we think is going to happen. How about Sebastian Gorka? Okay. No on Bannon. He's fine where he is. Okay. What other name is there? And listen, maybe it's not a name that maybe it's not a name. Maybe it's somebody that once we look into would think, oh, or maybe it's somebody from the outside of the political. I don't know. Joyce says, Regina, you would be good on the call with Damon. Well, come on, Regina. Show Joyce that she's correct. And jump on the call with Damon here. Flynn at FBI, General Flynn. Okay. Again, I don't even think, we know what happened, but he was in the first time. I don't think that's a oh my God moment for Flynn. I mean, maybe it will be certainly for them. Jay Secular, I love Jay. Jay Sekulow at where? Now there's somebody you put up for. Does he go to the DOJ? I don't know. Would he want to leave what he's doing and go to the DOJ for some kind of second or third level position under Gates if he was able to get approved? I don't know. I don't know about that. Charlie Kirk for press secretary. I haven't heard that. That's interesting. How about Ray Kelly from New York City? Megyn Kelly has come out and said no. Doug Burgum, Interior. Yeah, I think thinking about that last night, I'm not a huge fan of Doug Burgum, as you know, if you've watched the show, but I think actually Doug Burgum is much better at Interior because I think the land issues, I think he's much better with than if he was over at Energy. Energy, I think, would have been a disaster. I think Interior, the more I thought about it, is probably less damaging than if he was over at over there. Drag Blacker's with us. What's going on, man?
Hello, Damon.
How are you?
Going?
How are you?
How's it going, everyone?
What'd you say?
I was just asking, how is everyone doing?
Oh, I think everybody's doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Can't really complain.
Good. So last time you were on, you brought great insight into a lot of things. So let's just catch up since the last time I spoke. Give me your thoughts so far on nominees.
My personal view is that I'm kind of indifferent on all of these appointees, and here's why. Trump is not an ideologue on either side. He is going to do whatever he wants, and he's not really going to listen to anyone except himself and people he personally trusts. So I see people, even in the 6B chat and elsewhere, they're arguing amongst themselves over who's good or who's bad, who's a snake, who is trustworthy. And to me, it's ultimately just pointless. He's just going to do whatever he wants, and there's no point in us arguing over it about it. And even if there's someone in there that we think is good, they're eventually going to do something that people are going to disagree with, and we're all going to just start going, oh, he's a disappointment. He betrayed MAGA. He did this. He did that. What was Trump thinking? And I just don't see the point of it. He's just going to appoint who he wants, and we'll see what happens, whether it's good or bad. And I remember in the first Trump term, he would do things that didn't exactly align with what conservatives wanted at the time. And some people in the media on the right, they got hysterical over it. They were saying Trump sold out, Trump did this, Trump did that. And I got tired of it after a certain point. So in that sense, I kind of tuned out. So my view is he's just going to appoint who he wants, and we'll just see what happens. There's no point in us. There's no point in us fighting each other over who is good, who is bad. Whether Vivek is good, whether Tulsi is good, whether RFK should be trustworthy. It's just we'll see what goes on, and if Trump doesn't like them, he'll fire them.
Okay, I mean, I think that's probably a pretty wise way to approach it. But having said that, now let me ask you this: so I would assume by that answer that you don't think there's any kind of 4D chess, Delgado UFO theories on why he put Gates up. He put Gates up because that's the guy he effectively would want there. Now, whether he gets there or not, we have to wait and see. I assume that's what you believe.
I think Trump pretty much likes anyone who likes him. If you flatter Trump, he will like you and he will support you. If you oppose Trump to a certain degree, he will chastise you. Just remember, he used to trash DeSantis when DeSantis was running against him. Now he has nothing negative to say about him because now DeSantis has joined Trump's side. That's the way he operates. So with Gates, I have nothing against Gates. I have no issue with him being attorney general, but I don't think there's any real strategy for Trump himself beyond maybe he thinks he has a use, he can do some good, but beyond simply that, oh, this guy's on my side, he says things I like he likes me, so I like him. That's essentially how he operates. Again, it's not ideology with Trump. He's just, can you do the job? Do you like me? Do I like you? So that's pretty much all. That's the way he thinks. That's the way he's done business or his whole career. And he's not going to just do something because we in conservative media or conservative fan base say he should do this. He's going to trust himself and trust whoever is close to him.
All right, so let me give you. I'm gonna shoot some names at you, and you just give me confirmed or not confirmed. Doug Collins for Veterans Affairs.
I honestly don't know much about him, so I can't really say yes or no.
Okay. Robert Kennedy for Secretary of Health and Human Services.
You mean the senator from Louisiana? Oh,
no,
that's
RFK. RFK Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services. Do you think he gets confirmed or no?
I think probably he'll get confirmed. It depends on whether the Republicans want to play ball with Trump this time.
Okay. Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. Confirmed or not confirmed?
Again, that's probably depending on whether they want to play ball with Trump. If they were on with Trump, then I'll say yes, he'll get confirmed.
Okay. Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence. Confirmed or not confirmed in the end?
Probably confirmed, but after a big media brouhaha over it. I would say with all of them. There's going to be a big media circus with them, just like with Trump's Supreme Court picks the last time.
Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. You think there's any pushback to him, or that's an easy fly-through approval?
I think with Rubio, maybe it might be easy, maybe a token protest in the media, but he'll probably get confirmed.
How about Kristi Noem at Department of Homeland Security? Confirmed or not confirmed?
I'm not sure about Noem. I don't think she's as maybe she's not as offensive to the establishment as some of the other people, but maybe she'll get confirmed.
Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, confirmed or not confirmed?
Not sure about that because remember, most people know him as a media commentator, so they're gonna play that up when the approval process is taking place. So maybe he has military experience, but I don't know if they will exactly decide. Okay, you get the job. I'm not sure about that.
John Ratcliffe, Director of the CIA, confirmed or not confirmed?
Not sure about that one either. I would say probably yes, depending. Again, it's all politics. So if you do enough favors, then you'll get whatever nominee you want. That's
Yeah,
I think that applies for all of them.
I think Ratcliffe's flies through
Yeah.
no problem. Couple of the other big ones, Lee Zeldin, EPA. I think he has any issues? I would say no, but what do you say?
Nothing comes to mind that they would find immediately offensive, so probably yes. Though I don't know what he has done that's really related to environmental issues, but well, we'll see how that goes.
Yep. I mean, obviously, some of the big ones we don't know yet. The biggest one, obviously, is FBI director to replace Chris Wray. Do you have someone you'd like to see there, or any thoughts on that?
I have nothing in particular, but I have been hearing people over the years saying, I don't know whether they're serious or not. They'll say, like, let's just dismantle the FBI entirely. It's too corrupt. So some of these appointments, I'm thinking maybe if you want to appoint them just to initiate the process of dismantling them or dissolving them, then I guess it really matters who you want in those positions. But part of me thinks Trump doesn't really want to do that because Trump's a man of his time. He's not going to be as radical in the sense of dissolving everything like some people want. So, I mean, with the Department of Education, for example, he said he was going to get rid of it the first time. Obviously, that didn't happen. But during this campaign,
every Republican has said they're going to get rid of it since I think it started in 1980. I think every one of them has said that.
Right. But with Trump in particular, in the campaign, he was saying, I am not going to give any money to these schools who promote the woke agenda, etc. But if he really went ahead and dissolved the DOE, he can't hold the money over their heads anymore. So I think for him, it's about making deals. So he's not going to really dissolve the DOE. He's just going to say, okay, you do this and I'll give you the money. So Trump is a deal maker. He doesn't commit ideologically to one way or another. He'll say things and then he'll do something else at the negotiation table. That's how he operates.
Yeah.
Like, remember, we take him seriously, but not literally. Unlike the left takes him literally and goes into histrionics.
All right, Drag. Thanks for joining us again. Always good stuff from you. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Damon. See you tonight.
All right, bud. Thanks. All right, there you go. Your own Drag Blacker from the chat. Always good stuff from him. If you want to join me, the link is on all of our social media, and it's in the chat as well. We can see, tell me who you think is going to get confirmed or not confirmed. I like doing this. I like to hear what everybody else has to say. Who's going to get confirmed and who's not going to get confirmed? Be very interesting. I mean, I've heard people say Gates won't get confirmed, Tulsi won't get confirmed, Hegseth won't get confirmed, and they think they won't get confirmed because Republicans themselves will do them in. We know we've got 47 or 48, whatever the number is, no votes on the other side for everyone other than Rubio, Radcliffe. Those two, we know. I think Lee Zeldin will get support on the other side as well. So I think I can't imagine seeing a problem there. I think Doug Collins is almost an automatic at the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. I think he'll slide through no problem. I think he'll have bipartisan support. But when you talk about Kennedy, Gates, Gabbard, even Nome as kind of a known, no pun intended, a known entity, being the governor, there is some question about pushing back there, even from within the party, saying, what qualifications does she have to go over to DHS? Is being a governor enough? And then people on the other side will say, well, Tom Homan's really running the show. She's just a figurehead. I don't suspect Kristi Noem looks at herself that way. John Ratcliffe's going to fly through. Pete Hegseth is another interesting one. Obviously, everything else is Mike Waltz, I don't think is an issue whatsoever. Lee Zeldin, I think, flies through. Elise Stefanik, UN ambassador, obviously flies through. Huckabee flies through. Those are just rubber stamps. But it's the bigger ones. And do we get to the scenario that we talked about extensively yesterday? we always say going into these budget fights, we're going to find out what the Republicans are made of. And unfortunately, we're always pretty much let down. But we are really going to find out what the Republicans are made of as we get into this, because they may actually have to go play hardball. And we know the president will be ready to play hardball. But will they be ready to play with him? I don't know. Regina.
Howdy.
I'm glad you
You're
jumped
doing
on
wonderful.
here.
How are you doing? I am too.
I'm doing very good. I'm glad you came on. So what's we've been talking about Trump and his nominees and his confirmations, and I guess first tell me, how do you think he's doing so far with the people he's been putting up?
I think he's picked the best dream team ever to clean the swamp out. But I don't think it's going to get confirmed. I think he's going to have to take a 10-day recess to get them confirmed, because they're not going to give their power up that easy.
So give me your top list of people who are going to have a problem getting who do you think is going to have a problem getting confirmed, where the president would have to go and try to figure out how to do recess appointments?
Well, Matt's the top of the list that's going to have the hardest problem, I think. Noam, she's going to have a problem because she is a mega supporter. RFK, they cannot stand him because of what he does know. So they're scared to death of him. And Rubio, they don't like Rubio either. So I believe it's going to be a 10-day recess. They don't want none of them in there.
So you think on a straight up and down vote. So let me do this, what I just did with Drag. Let me do it with you. So let's just go from the top. This is on a straight up and down, have to get a majority vote, have to get to 51. Doug Collins over at the VA. Do you think he can get a straight up and down 51 to get approval?
I believe he's got approval.
Okay. RFK Jr. for Secretary of Health and Human Services. Can he get approved on a straight up and down vote?
Nope.
Okay. Matt Gaetz at Attorney General. Can he get approved on a straight up and down vote?
Nope.
Okay. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. Can she get 51 votes on a straight up and down vote?
I think she's going to barely skim that one.
Okay. Marco Rubio, Secretary of State. Yes or no?
No.
Really? Why do you think Rubio's a no when he's already has bipartisan support from like Fetterman, who says, I think I would support him?
I think it's because we got a few of these rhino Republicans that can't stand him because he is Cuban, and because he does have some of them just do not get along with him and they don't like him. Like Miss Lisa, she can't stand him, and she's got some people behind her that is going to vote whatever she votes. So,
You're talking about Lisa
if he
Murkowski?
does, yes, she does not like Rubio at all, and she's got a few of them rhinos up under her thumb, and they're going to vote whatever she votes.
All right, Kristi Noem, Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. Can she get 51?
Oh no, they can't stand her. They're scared of her.
All right, Pete
She
Hegseth,
she was one of the picks for VP, so of course not. She ain't gonna get. There ain't no way.
All right, Pete
I think
Hegseth,
it's gonna go good. Pete has got the best. I mean, he's been to Iraq 3 times. He knows the military. He knows war. He knows what needs to be done. And they're trying to act like he don't have any experience. And he's got the best experience, in my opinion, to be put there. And he's smart.
I think you're right on about that. How about John Radcliffe, Director of the CIA? He gets 51 easy?
I wish, but that's going to be a hard. I think it's all going to go to a 10-day recess because they don't want none of. They know when they come in there that their special interests are gone. All this frivolous spending, throwing money away at these crappy things that don't even make any sense to people, and so much of it we don't even know where half of it's going, and it's all fixing to it's fixing to get ugly.
Boy, Regina, you really got an ugly situation here. You really think that the president has now. So let me ask you though, then let's just play out your scenario. You think it has to go to recess to get a lot of these people through. Well, there's 2 scenarios on how we get to recess appointments that the Senate would have to all vote. So the same people you're talking about not voting up and down for them, they would still have to then vote to go into recess. And if they know that that's the plan, how do you get Lisa Murkowski or Susan Collins to vote yes on going into a 10-day recess when they know that the president will then use that to bypass their vote and approve these people that they weren't going to vote for?
Because they're hoping they won't get the votes to go to recess, but it's going to happen. They have to make it look good for their special interests. So they've got to make it look good in front of people, and then they're going to vote to take and let it go to recess so they don't look so bad. It's all a game. It's just a game. And they're playing it very well.
All right, Regina, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Good stuff.
Oh, one more thing. I heard Laura Trump this morning threw her name in the bucket to take Matt Gaetz's place here in the House.
I know. I'm not for that at all. I see her name in Florida. I see her name in Ohio. I see her name. If Lara Trump wants to get out of the RNC and really get into the fight, what she should do is go to her home state where she says she loves and grew up and go against Tom Tillis. That's where she can be effective. We don't need her in Florida. Correct. We don't need her over in Ohio. Run Tom Tillis out of town in North Carolina. That's where she could be really good.
Correct. The problem we have right now in Pensacola is we have 2 Democrats that want Matt's seat. So we got to get a Republican that'll go in the special election when Matt gets appointed to take his seat, because we cannot have a Democrat in Matt's seat.
Well, his area is I don't know his area as well. Is that a wherever he's is that a bluish area? We had 2 million extra Republicans register in Florida. We're kind of a little mixed here in Pensacola. So it's on the border. We got like 28,000 more Republicans than we do Democrats. So it's getting people to vote. So you would think the Republican would, whatever the Republican is in a special election, would win the seat, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, most deaf. But we got to have a Republican that'll run. Right now, all we have is 2 Democrats.
I'm sure the governor will find somebody, and Trump would find somebody to run in that seat.
But our mayor here is a Democrat.
Well, the Democratic Party doesn't have much future in Florida, but I guess they have little pockets here and there, so we'll have to figure it out. All right, Regina, thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Have a good rest of your day.
Have a blessed one.
Thank you. All right, there goes Regina. Great stuff from Regina. I'm glad she called in. She was fantastic. Child of the King is on the line. Child of the King, how are you?
Big D, how are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you for all your support over all this time. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can you hear me?
I sure can. You sound great.
Okay, great.
So who's what do you think of Trump's appointment so far?
I love what the master troll is doing. I really wanted to, I don't know if you touched on this or if you heard about this, but I just, before I left this morning, saw a quick news snippet that is on one of the lefty stations. So I don't dig in. I'll have to do some research tonight when I get home. But Nancy Pelosi is poking around for 26
Yeah,
to do another run.
sure.
I just thought that was so hilarious.
Did you see? Did you hear? Fetterman already came out. This guy, I mean, say what you will,
Yeah.
and we've had our fun with him, but he's turned out really to be a lot different, I think, than most people think. He has already come out and said, basically, like, really, like, don't you think at your age it's time? I think he said something like, isn't it time for you to kind of pack it in and give somebody younger a chance at your position? I mean, that's literally what he said on camera yesterday. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
I think that Fetterman has been a surprise to many people when he first came in wearing pajamas to work every day. And then all of a sudden Congress decides any dress will do. So everybody started dressing down.
Yeah.
I'm glad they've come to their senses and gone back to being professional. But yeah, Fetterman's quite interesting. I haven't made heads or tails as to what is actually going on with him. I think that the stroke might have done some good for him. You know, they do say after 40, you become a conservative.
Yeah.
That's just what's happening.
So I know you like, obviously, overall who you're seeing, but as I've been doing with everybody, first of all, do you think there's any 4D chess reason that Matt Gaetz was put up for Attorney General, or do you think that is just straight up and down who the president wants to put in there, given what's happened there over the last 4 years?
Well, I would preface that by saying when you go to the grocery store and you look down at a package of sausage, you see the label on the sausage and you think you know it's sausage. However, you don't know its origin until you know how to make the sausage. Trump is a master of sausage making. There's so much more that people do not know. We are not privy to it. They'll never let us know until we take our country completely back. They are supposed to work for us. And they have truly forgotten that, especially in the era of the Clintons, when everything became labeled as the political class or the political elite. They shifted without anybody noticing. What we have to do is take back our country. And that's what Trump has been trying to do. So with that said, I would say that Trump has definitely got some 4D chess going on. And whether or not he expects Gaetz to be confirmed, I think that Trump has ultimately another plan behind that he's going to be prepared. Like he hasn't ever done anything without being prepared. He knows more than we know. He knows a lot more than we know because he's already had inside access. You know, he's the sausage maker. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that all of our speculations about who will be confirmed, who won't be confirmed, those people that we're seeing, remember, we're seeing them through the media's eyes, and the media's lies. So we have no idea. I do have some strong opinions about a few of them. One in particular, Rubio. Very bad idea, but Trump must know what he's doing. I'm so hoping he does. Rubio is a rhino. He was part of the Gang of Eight. He's got a very dangerous background, and it's frightening.
So when you say Trump has a doesn't, and I agree with you, doesn't certainly is 4 steps ahead of everybody, and most of all of us out here talking about it. But do you think his backup plan, or whatever you're referring to when you say he's got other plans, does it in the end culminate in his mind with approval for Gates, Tulsi, Hegseth, and Kennedy Jr., the 4 that have really received the most pushback? Do you think the plan is in the end approval, or do you think the plan is like, okay, well, if it gets to this point, then we have to? I can't imagine that he wants to pull any of these. That's why I don't think there's any 4D chess on why he put these people up. I think these are the people he really wants. But so do you think the backup plan is to get to an approval come hell or high water, or something else?
I think it's a mix, actually. I don't think, I mean, again, we're dealing with a man who's a master of deal making. He knows what's going to, I mean, he's, in the art of war, you plan out, 7 steps ahead. You're prepared for what's going to happen because you've already gamed it out. And like the previous person said, it's all a game. It kind of is, and it's awful that it is, but it has become that. We don't have political elites running around with mega millions because they're in there to serve the people. Everybody's in there for their own wealth. And I hate to sound cynical, but in the long run, we have a handful of people that are working in Congress that don't care about getting rich. They're there to do the right thing. And going back to whether Trump is doing 3D, 4D chess versus the checkered nitwits on the left, I think that we have to remember that we don't have all the information. So everything that we see out here is simply speculation, simply opinion based on the information that has been allowed, that's the big word, allowed to be revealed. I don't think that he put them in there with the idea that they're not going to get confirmed. I do think that he believes they will be confirmed. And of course, I don't know if you've read it, but the constitutional mandate tells us what is allowed, and it has never been used. However, it's masterful. And our founding fathers really thought this through, when they put these things together, and then the people that added to the contribution of what is now what we call the law of the land, they really did think about these demonic kind of or self-serving individuals that are just there to, take over. And we almost lost it, but for this election.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I guess let's do this exercise that I've been doing just because I'm interested after, listening to you, what your opinion is. So, Doug Collins at the VA, do you think he can get, and so I'll ask you, everybody on just a straight up and down vote of 51, whether they can get approved. So Doug Collins at the VA, yes or no?
I think it'll be contentious, but it's a yes.
Okay. RFK Jr. for HHS.
Obama selected RFK for the EPA.
Good point. Great point. And back then, a great point. And back then, remember, it was like, oh, look at this. He's going to be brilliant. And now look.
Yeah. Now they've turned their noses up because he wears a MAGA hat instead of an Obama rainbow flag.
Yep.
I think they will give him a hard time. And even his own family, when he was trying to run for president as an independent, did he run didn't he start out as a Democrat and then he switched over to independent?
Yeah.
Even his own family was coming out on public news and telling everybody how ashamed they were. I think they'll give him a hard time, but I do think that he will get through.
Okay. Well, okay. So get through, you mean get through on the vote that the president won't have to do. These are all questions on no recess, just straight up and down. Okay.
Right.
Matt Gaetz, Attorney General.
No, that's absolutely recess. I do believe that our fire-breathing Florida man will do an amazing job, but there are a lot of people, both sides of the aisle. They are two wings of the same bird. You have to be careful. I think that they may have to do a recess for him.
Tulsi Gabbard at DNI.
Tulsi is a former Democrat. She's made a lot of good friends. She worked the aisles. She knows the inside game. I think she can work the aisles before the confirmation, and then she will get in without recess.
Okay. We know your feelings on him, but Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, Fetterman has already said he would support him. He may get some bipartisan across the aisle support. Do you think he gets through?
Well, I'm going to sidestep off the limb here for a minute and share the visual that came to my head, which is him holding hands with Lady Graham, skipping down the aisle to try to get his confirmation. I think he'll be confirmed just because he may be holding his little black hat under his butt.
Yeah, I think he will too. Kristi Noem at DHS.
They don't like her. They use the dog thing as their excuse, but they don't like her because she's a strong woman, and their narrative is busted with people like Noem. She's done an amazing job in her own state, and I'm right next door. And so, we communicate with our neighbors out here in this wide open country. You kind of, you get to know. And she's done an amazing job, including being one of the best and most quiet successes through the nonsense of the CV-19. I think she will be confirmed, but I think they'll fight her a little bit.
Pete Hegseth at Defense.
Oh, they hate that. That and the CIA. The Department of Defense is not what it used to be. They don't want Pete Hegseth in there because they have a lot of dirty secrets. And I made a joke on chat the other day, and I said I was busier than a Democrat at a paper shredder. These people do not want people in the CIA or the DOD or the DOJ. They're frightened. That's why they're doing all these attacks. Again, these are just my opinions, nobody else's. But I believe they will fight that tooth and nail. I don't think it will confirm.
So no confirm on Pete Hegseth?
No.
Okay. John Ratcliffe, CIA?
Same deal. They don't want anybody in their little corner of the world. That is a
Even though he was at DNI and went through this and obviously was approved?
Yeah, but now we're talking about the cornerstone of the how do I put that? It's a place where nobody looks. There's no internal affairs. There's no investigations. There's no inquiries as to where did you spend the money we gave you. It's simply not allowed, and it's not even spoken of in DC. They don't tell you anything about the CIA, and to play with the clowns or to play with the spooks is a no-no, and everybody knows it. They're not going to let somebody in there that's wearing a MAGA hat because they know they're in trouble.
Yeah, but let's play that out for a second. Don't you think, okay, so even somebody like John Ratcliffe, who I would think would not get much pushback to go there, but I hear what you're saying about the whole, the aura of the CIA and what it is to walk in there. But don't you think at some point the other side is going to realize, and even if the other side is all no votes, which we assume they will be, Republicans themselves, even if they take down, let's say, a John Ratcliffe, they don't actually think that Trump's going to go back and go, okay, you don't want John. Let me go find some Washington D.C. insider who's been around here for 30 years that I'll try to make you. He knows the next person is going to be just the same kind of. I mean, don't you think they play it out and go, well, okay, if we pull up a stink here on Ratcliffe, who's next, and how many of these are we going to do before Thune and Johnson say, okay, we're going into recess, and then he can go back to Ratcliffe? I mean, don't you think that they're going to have to see this thing out?
I appreciate exactly what you're saying. However, I would point you back to 2020 and J6. And not the activity on the outside, but what was going on the inside. Did you pay attention to how many Republicans slid right on over to the left and cozied up with the same narrative? Oh, it was dangerous and people died. No cops died. There were 4 American patriots that were there that day that were killed. 4. Everybody always just says the one, but nobody mentions the other three. There were no cops that were killed. There was a man that had a heart attack. Don't know why he was doing the job. He had a bad heart. He should have been, pulled by his captain just because of his health issues. But he did not have a heart attack because of J6. So it couldn't have been all that bad if the heart attack didn't happen until the next day. With that being said, and I'm way out on the limb there, I would say, remember that the Republicans are very weak. Democrats hold power. Republicans hold office. There is a difference in the mindset of these people. So Republicans can cave very easily because they want to be friends and they want to be nice. We as Republicans / conservatives, we have that guilty burden. It might be right. And morally, we believe we're standing on the higher ground. We are still doing battle with people that when they get around a crowd, they do the mob mentality thing. And when they're around the Democrat crowd, they're in serious jeopardy of caving to the left's ideology instead of behaving like we've hired them to do.
Republicans hold office, Democrats hold power. I think that might be my new T-shirt that I wear on the show. Boy, I like that one a lot. So just quickly, I'll give you the other big ones. Obviously, Mike Waltz at NSA. Do you foresee him having any issue?
I don't think so. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll get confirmed. They'll give contention as usual, but
Lee Zeldin, EPA. Any problems there?
They're so frustrated with Lee Zeldin. He woke up New York. I think he'll get through, just because he's a good guy.
Okay, so you see a lot of approvals, but you see some scenario here for possibly having to get to recess. So on recess appointments, there's two ways to get there. Do you think the House and the Senate agree? I don't know how you get senators like Murkowski or Collins or McConnell who are not going to vote. If they're going to vote no on a nominee on a straight up and down vote, how do you then turn around once they vote no and the nominee doesn't get through to say, okay, we're going to vote to go into recess when they know what that means? How are you going to get them to do that?
Yeah, see, that's that 4D chess stuff. Murkowski, I don't know if anybody even remembers the image, but when Frankenstein was still alive, Dianne Feinstein, she pinned Murkowski against a wall. Does anybody remember that image? That was such a very telling image that Feinstein pressed on Murkowski. And then all of a sudden, right after that, Alaska goes for the ranked choice voting. So Murkowski and her family, if you look into that, they've always sort of bent a little bit to the left with an R after their name, just for good measure. Murkowski is only doing what she's told. That image is still emblazoned in my head. She is not her own woman. She doesn't have strength, power, or morality. And, again, my opinion, not that of the show, just saying. Her actions are very loud, even though her voice is very mousy. I think she can be manipulated back to behaving if the right people are in place. And when she sees this gig is up and she better start playing right.
Well, the same thing, I guess you could say then about Collins too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Collins says this morning she's looked to run for re-election in 26. I mean, I would think if she gets out of line, I would think you send an Elon or somebody over there to say, if you want your primary opponent to have literally unlimited funds, then continue to play hardball with us here.
Yep, exactly. They're very nervous. The Republicans are very nervous because there's been a lot of power that has come to play. The winning of this election, they were trying to steal it. There's still stuff going on in some of the Western states. They're still trying to manipulate things so that they can get their people in place. They need to, the same way they did in 2022 when they got rid of Carrie Lake and put in the Secretary of State, who is now acting as the governor, even though she has no interest for Arizona. There's some very dangerous people that are very nervous about. Thank you, Julie. There are some people that are very nervous about what is happening, and they're doing their level best to prevent what they know is coming, which is a full reckoning. You know, a lot of people sing the praises of Elon Musk and, you know, Vivek Ramaswamy. Appreciate that. But let's remember that this is all being held together by American people's faith, not just in their government, but more in their God, you know, in our God. I think it's very important that we remember this. God chooses who will reign, who will be in lead. So don't stop praying.
Yes, and by the way, I can't tell you the love you're getting in the chat. I'm getting actually people texting me on my phone who are listening and watching the show who are not in the chat, also texting me about how great you are. So I want to thank you so much. Again, thank you for all the support. Thank you so much for coming on this morning. I hope you'll do it again. People saying you should be on the night show, but you know, the nice thing about doing what I'm doing in the mornings here is we would never have this kind of time to get into this kind of stuff. Like we have no time restraints here. So, you know, I'd almost rather keep doing it here on the morning show with everybody because it's a lot of fun. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. I really appreciate that you opened up this venue, and usually I don't have the time, but today I took the time. So,
well, whenever you have the time, take the time because you were fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You guys have a great day.
You too. There you go. Child of the King. You know her from the chat. She was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Wow, beautiful. Well, there you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. Good insight into what is going on here. Very interesting. Boy, we are getting I've been watching these. I've been watching the network here, and I've been watching my TVs around me to see about any nominations coming out, but nothing. Michael Watley, chairman of the RNC with Lara Trump, just said, let's be clear about what's happening here. Democrats in Pennsylvania are brazenly trying to break the law by attempting to count illegal ballots. So they're still fighting there in this McCormick race. It's really crazy what's going on there. Democrats openly defying court rulings from the state's Supreme Court to try to benefit Bob Casey. Sounds kind of insurrection-y to me, but of course, when it's on their side, it's never is that. It's always something else. So, all right, everybody. Well, that was a lot of fun. I wish more of you had joined us, but I want to thank everybody who did join me. That was great. Bannon left the show and headed to Mar-a-Lago. There's no doubt about that. He's definitely headed there. That's why he's down. He didn't go down to West Palm just to go to our studios down there and just do the show. There's no doubt that he is down there to strategize about what comes next. So we'll see on a Friday. I don't know on this FBI director if that's the real bombshell that everyone's talking about, and if we get it now or they hold this one back for a while. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't be shocked to get a Friday afternoon going into the weekend bombshell to let all the horrid Sunday morning shows stew on it. I could definitely see that happening. I could also see them just saying, you know what, let's hold this one close to the vest and maybe release it down the road somewhere. I don't know. Let everybody start stewing and thinking about it. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you tonight for a Friday Night Pizza Show, 8 p.m., Real America's Voice, live from Studio 6B. As always, this morning show, and of course, most of what we do at night is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell. So head over there, support Mike Lindell. Use our code LFS6B if you so desire. We appreciate when you do it. It's a great way to support the show. And it gives you a great savings on great stuff from Lindell. Make sure you head over to livefromstudio6b.com as well. Sign up there to become a member because we do send out emails with promo codes for our own stuff on our own site. So make sure you do that as well, and you can do that free. And in about 5 minutes, sign up. If you have a Facebook account or a Google account, you can sign right up at the site literally in like 10 seconds. So have a great rest of your day. I want to thank everybody who joined me on the show. We'll continue to do it. Maybe Fridays. I mean, I would do it every day, but we'll certainly do one day a week. Or maybe Fridays we'll open it up to all you to join me, whether it's audio or with video. those of you worried about don't want to go on camera, you can see today, I think we did 3, 4, 5 people. All of them were just audio, and it still works out great. It's good to hear from you. So you can always do that as well. So, all right, have a great rest of the day. Anything big breaks, obviously I'll try to get back on. But if not, I'll see you tonight at 8 p.m. I don't think there's anything to cover. I don't think there's any dinners. I don't think there's any speeches. I don't think there's any, So it should be a regular show. So we'll see you then. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tonight.